Welcome back to Pushing the Pod. We're live here from Radio Row, checking out SpongeBob and Patrick, getting after it. Those guys have been dancing all day long. They got more energy than, well, a lot of people here, because it's Thursday. Mm-hmm. We're a few days away. Kyle's letting out a big yawn. Get it all out.
You said tired. You said tired. I took a yawn. SpongeBob, man. That's awesome.
That's amazing. We don't have any slime here?
Ooh, it's not going to come above us, and maybe we will. All right. We're going to go through position group by position group and say who has the edge between the Eagles and the Chiefs prior to this Sunday. Start at the position group that's probably the most obvious, quarterback. I think do we even need a debate?
Yeah, I don't even think it needs to be a debate.
It's the Philadelphia.
We got to talk about it for a minute though, because with Jalen Hurts and that offensive line, the type of quarterback he is, his physicality, it allows that offense to operate in a different way in the early downs. We had Matt Ryan on the show last week, or earlier this week. Geez, it was earlier this week. And he was talking about, I expect them to throw the ball on first down because of the fact that they can steal that fourth down. It's almost a gimme with the tush-push.
For sure.
This is a Patrick Mahomes one. Patrick Mahomes has...
He wins this category.
It's always important to keep in mind that they do have that cheat code in Philadelphia.
I like that you brought that up when you talk about the O-line and Jalen Hurts, because he's going to be part of the run game as well. Let's not forget, 2 years ago, he led them in rushing with some design quarterback runs and scrambles as well. But clearly, this is Patrick Mahomes' category. He's the best quarterback. Some would say if he wins this one, maybe the best quarterback ever.
All right, before we get to the running back position, we're actually going to decide who has the better gumbo over rice or gumbo over potato salad here. We got to come into
Really?
I've never done
Louisiana
this.
fish fries.
So it's a cold gumbo?
This is
so
great.
in New Orleans, apparently, you either eat the gumbo over rice or you eat it over potato salad. I can't say I've ever had it over potato salad, so I'm actually looking forward to this.
I'm here to tell you, this gumbo over rice looks unbelievable.
It does look good.
I'm going to dig in right now.
I'm a big mustard potato salad guy, so I'm going to start with that one.
Let me tell you, the gumbo over rice, it's like getting a nice warm hug from your mom after a loss in middle school football or something like that.
This gumbo's
Get
really
this gumbo over rice, you just feel good.
My mom wasn't hugging me. She was telling me to man up and do better next time.
This gumbo's really good.
You know what? I like the gumbo over rice. It's time to try the gumbo over potato salad.
Yeah, this is interesting. I've never even heard of
it. Potato salad.
I didn't know this was even
I think that's a good combo.
Okay. The Irish.
Mike, you might not be lying. That's an interesting combo. I've never had that before.
Good flavor profile.
Louisiana fish
It's a really good flavor.
They brought the crawfish yesterday. I was like, I didn't think you could top that. This might even be better. I'm not even.
Yeah, they, as they would say in the South, they put their foot in this one.
They put their foot in. Somebody told me that yesterday. I was like, why'd they put their foot in it? They were like, they didn't really put their foot in it. It just means they cooked their asses off.
Correct.
All right, so what's the desk consensus? Are we going gumbo over rice?
I'm going potato salad, surprisingly.
I'm thinking potato salad.
Wow.
This is so fantastic. If this is the stuff that's in here right now,
I need
it gives me all these flavors. I want 1 million bags of this.
We need that
Louisiana
ship.
fish fry products. Fantastic.
We need this shipped to HQ for sure.
100%. 100%. I'm going to go with the standard gumbo over rice.
Oh, he's going gumbo over rice.
Although this is a good alternative.
Each their own. That's why it's a debate.
Over potato salad.
One position where there's probably not going to be a debate also is running back between these two teams. I think we can safely say that the guy who went over 2,000 yards is the guy we're going to take. It's the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, let's go to one that is maybe a little closer, but still not close in my opinion. Wide receiver position. Where are we going for this one?
I don't think this one's close either. You got literally 2 perennial Pro Bowlers on one side for the Philadelphia Eagles. When you talk about A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, a.k.a. the Slim Reaper, right? A lot of people forget about him because A.J. Brown's on that team. But he's probably their most consistent receiver. And when you're talking about Jalen Hurts going to that guy in clutch moments, I don't think this one's particularly close.
Yeah, Philadelphia is the one that's going to get my vote here.
All right, the first time I think we'll actually maybe have some disagreement. Tight end position here. Philadelphia Eagles and Dallas Goedert, or Kansas City Chiefs and Travis Kelce.
But it's the totality of the position group, right?
Noah Gray, too. Grant Calcaterra on the other side.
Correct.
You got the Eagles use a lot of 2 tight ends, too.
They do.
So
I don't care how many tight ends the Eagles have. Travis Kelce in the Super Bowl, in the playoffs, in the big game is who you want on your team. That's who I want to break the huddle with. It's my why. It's number 87, Travis Kelce, one of the best to ever do it at his position.
I'm with you there 100%. I think actually Noah Gray adding him into that scenario, too, kind of gives them the edge as well. Mike talked about it, not just the Philadelphia Eagles, but the Kansas City Chiefs like to live in 12 personnel as well. And Patrick Mahomes has a real rapport with Noah Gray, and that's why I actually think he could be a dark horse to have a good game in this game. When you talk about what Travis Kelce has done, you see it right there in Super Bowls and then also throughout his playoff career. He's going to get a lot of attention. That could free some things up for Noah Gray. We've seen these two linebackers really struggle in space at times, especially on out routes. Could Noah Gray potentially have a big game? I think Kansas City wins this one as well.
From the very first day that Noah Gray showed up off of Duke's campus at Kansas City's training camp, he was the first guy in the building.
Really?
He was the last guy out. He was the guy that was standing up to his neck in the ice tub, and he had 2 books with him. He had the Bible, and he had the playbook. And I always respected the way that he went about his business. He's a guy that learned from Travis Kelce from day one. And when times are tough for Travis, whether physically or schematically the defense is trying to do to him something that's not good for the Chiefs,
correct,
Noah Gray is the guy that Patrick can look to. So I really like that tight end room a lot.
I'll say if it was week 8, I would have said Eagles, but it's a Super Bowl, and I'll say the Chiefs.
Yeah, there you go.
That and Travis Kelce. All right, interior offensive line. Where are we going?
So me and Kyle were just talking about this. For this exercise, Mike, do we have to assume that Tooney is playing left tackle?
Tooney's left tackle.
Well, if he's playing left tackle, it's the Philadelphia Eagles. Yep. But if Tooney was pinched in at the guard position, it wouldn't even be close, right? Because literally, that might be that's the best interior 3 in all of football for the Kansas City Chiefs. But because Tooney has moved out the left tackle, and you got Mike Caliendo in at left guard, I would have to give the edge to the Philadelphia Eagles. One, just because of size. Right? These are some massive human beings. We talk about Landon Dickerson, Mekhi Becton. Cam Jurgens not as big, but those 2 guards are massive. It's hard to get around them, Kyle.
You know what? I watched the movie Jaws when I was a kid, and I remember when they first saw the great white shark, the captain looked at his second in command, and he said, "We're going to need a bigger boat." When you line up against the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line, you just need a bigger boat.
Facts.
And they just have bigger dudes. And sometimes I have some concerns about the size, the size of the butts on that defensive line for the Kansas City Chiefs. We know about Chris Jones, but then we got to keep in mind Sean Wharton's going to be in there sitting on double teams. Landon Dickerson's about 450 pounds. I saw him walking around the other day. He's built like an absolute refrigerator. Mekhi Becton, same thing at right guard.
Goodness gracious.
The center Jurgens can get out in space and move around. There's a lot to look at there. I like the Philadelphia interior offensive line.
You need that Shad Khan yacht to hold up to the.
That's quite an impressive yacht there.
That's an understatement of what that is.
All right, let's go to offensive tackle position.
I don't think this one's close.
Next.
I was about to say, it's been well documented the issues the Kansas City Chiefs have had at tackle. Matter of fact, they had to move their all-pro guard to tackle because they've been struggling. Lane Johnson is one of the best, if not the best tackle in all of football. And Jordan Mailata is a perennial Pro Bowler and all-pro too as well. So this category is not even close.
Yep, and with the strengths that they have at the guard position, it allows for those tackles to go out there and just do their thing. They're going to try to probably win inside with help, 4 hands on Chris Jones. They're going to be on an island, Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson, but I fully expect them to handle their business.
Oh, yeah.
I like the Philadelphia Eagles tackle room.
Yeah, they are the best tackle duo in football. When you're the best tackle duo in football. Kind of hard to compete with that. Chiefs, obviously, they've had their struggles, but with Tooney at tackle, at least respectable at this point. All right, so to recap the offensive side of the football here before we go to break and get to the defense side of the football in the next block. Quarterback going to the Chiefs, running back, wide receiver going to the Eagles, tight end to the Chiefs, interior offensive line, and tackles going the Eagles' way. A little bit of a stalemate there. I think defensively, we're going to have to decide it. Let's go to defense. Let's kick it off with the interior defensive line. Leger, who we got?
So Chris Jones is the equalizer.
Yeah.
But I think the totality of the Philadelphia Eagles defensive line, Jalen Carter, literally, I think him and Chris Jones, for how they've played this year, kind of X each other out. But the guy that Mike has talked about has played really well this year, Milton Williams. And we're not even talking about Jordan Davis and what he does in the run game. So I think the edge has to go to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, the Philadelphia Eagles, they can attack you in so many ways. Right there, front and center of that offensive line, they're going to be under fire, under attack, and you can never make the right decision. You talked about some of the things that Vic Fangio is going to do to allow for advantageous matchups, leverage issues for these offensive linemen from the Kansas City Chiefs. And, yeah, it's going to be tough to sleep the night before the Super Bowl for a guy like me who's going to be all eyes on that Kansas City offensive line. I got to give it to the Philadelphia Eagles, though. They have real winners on both sides of the center.
Yeah, and Jordan Davis, obviously, Milton Williams, Jalen Carter. But Jordan Davis, he's another guy where, if he wants to turn it on, We saw that sack he had.
I was about to say, the last couple playoff games, he's turned it up.
Yeah, so if he's ready and willing, that guy can still do some freaky things. All right, let's get to the edge rushing position. Chiefs or Eagles, who we got?
I'm going with the Eagles again.
Yeah.
I think the emergence of Nolan Smith and Josh Sweat is Mr. Steady Eddie on the outside, Chop Club King, and then BG could be coming back. Brandon Graham, right? And we've seen this history in Super Bowls. We saw him take Tom Brady down with a sack fumble, essentially win the game for the Philadelphia Eagles a few years ago. I believe that was 2017. So I give the slight edge to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I'm not sleeping on the guys in Kansas City, though. If you're talking about George Karlaftis, you're talking about Mike Danna, you're talking about a number of guys. Charles Omenihu, a number of guys who can get home to the quarterback. But at the end of the day, you have to weigh into the equation how talented the edges are protected by the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
So it kind of mitigates anything you got going there for the Kansas City Chiefs. I'll give it to the Philadelphia Eagles here. And if they do happen to get BG, man, oh man.
That's big.
He's got some fresh legs right now.
Yeah.
He's been
gone, for about 10 weeks?
Yep. He's been hanging out. He needed the break. He's an old head now. He needs the break.
Yeah, I concur. I think Philadelphia Eagles, just depth, top-end talent, I think they take it. All right, linebacker position. I think this one gets to be a debate here.
This is a debate here. I went back and forth. I think if Nakobe Dean was healthy, I would give the edge to the Philadelphia Eagles. But I think the totality, and people haven't talked about this guy enough, he was a hero in the Super Bowl last year, Leo Chanel. He'll probably play a significantly a bigger role because the Philadelphia Eagles like to come out in 12 personnel, 1 back and 2 tight ends. So Steve Spagnuolo is going to match that up. Love what Drew Tranquill does in the run game. And Nick Bolton is one of the most unheralded, underrated linebackers in all of football. Just talking to players and the respect they give Nick Bolton for the speed at which he plays the game. I'm going to give the edge to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Another guy who, on arrival, rookie year, was an absolute dude, a dog, somebody that fit into Spag's defense. That's Nick Bolton. He's the guy that really runs the show there on the second level of the defense. I love Drew Tranquill's ability to attack the gaps. He can hit downhill. He's a great tackler. Leo Chanel is that guy who, from a physical standpoint, is not mismatched by anybody. Saquon's not running over Leo. You know what I'm saying? But you got to be in the right spot. They've got 3 guys who can do 3 different sets of things on the second level for the Kansas City defense. I expect for them to be in base a number of times more this week because of some of the formations they're going to line up with Philadelphia. I love that group in Kansas City. And you're right, Nakobe Dean being out, that may be the thing that tips the scale to Kansas City. Yeah, 100% agree. Zach Bond, he's the best linebacker in this game, but it is a core. And the Chiefs have a very well put together Mike Wilson, like guys who are perfectly tailored for their jobs, with Nick Bolton in the middle, Drew Tranquill is that weak side guy, and then Leo Chanel being able to just be that strong side, take on blocks, rush the passer as well. So like the totality of it, I think, goes the Chiefs' way. All right, last position group, secondary.
So I was going to ask you guys, I don't know how much time we got. Can we break this up and do corners
and safety? Let's do it. Yeah, we got time.
So corners, Trent McDuffie, again, is one of the best slot corners in all of football. Unfortunately for him, because they've been banged up on the outside, he hasn't been able to get in the slot. You got to go with the young gunners, though, right? Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, and Darius Big Play Slay has played really well the last couple of weeks. And you can even throw Isaiah Rodgers in. Like, he's their 4th corner. So the totality of the group, to me, is stronger for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, and I'm in total agreement with you. And what Vic Fangio is asking that defense to do on the back end, they're not out there gambling a lot. They're just playing sound, technical football. They work together well. They communicate well. Obviously, they communicate well because they brought these young guys up to speed. It's a great blend of old and young in the back end for the Philadelphia Eagles. I like them as well.
Yeah, I have to agree. The Eagles, to do what they're doing with 2 rookie corners is unbelievable. Everyone said on draft day that those guys were steals. Yeah, they look like steals. All right, let's get to the safety position then, Jay.
So this is why I wanted to break this up, because I think this is an interesting conversation, right? Because I love Reed Blankenship. Also, C.J. Gardner-Johnson is one of the best ball hawking safeties. But I'm going to get the edge to Kansas City, and it's because of their 3 safety look. With Jaden Hicks, the rookie, coming in from Washington State. And then you talk about what Justin Reed does for this team. Not only does he play middle field safety, he plays in the box. He plays dime linebacker for them as well. And then Brian Cook as well, who's a physical downhill guy in the run game. So I'm going to give the slight edge to the Kansas City Chiefs. I just think the versatility of Justin Reed and then also them in those 3 safety looks gives them the edge.
Yeah, who do I trust more? It's Justin Reed's group. He's probably the smartest guy on the football
That's what
field.
everybody says,
Back
man.
there at the third level of the defense. He's a great teammate. He's physical. He does everything that his coach asks of him, run and pass. And he's kind of that conductor on the back end to get everybody in the right spot and communicate the right way. I look for them to have a big-time day, that third level of defense. If you get a tip or an overthrow, you got to make Jalen pay, though. You can't have those things bobble and hit the ground.
Yep.
No argument for me there on the Kansas City Chiefs. The last one here. We've gone through every positional group. Now we're going to do coaching staff. Which staff are you taking? This one feels like
this one's pretty easy too. I
not
think
much of a debate.
The only thing is Vic Fangio, in regards to what he's been able to do over his totality of his career and how he was able to flip this Philadelphia Eagles defense. But you got Big Red and Andy Reid, and you got Steve Spagnuolo. I mean, I think the conversation starts and stops with those two guys and how good they've been in big-time games. You got to give the edge to Kansas City.
I'm going to also give the edge to Kansas City. Andy Reid, obviously on the Mount Rushmore of NFL coaches right now as it currently stands. We talked about Spags. He's the guy that's been the I guess he hasn't been thanked very much.
Yeah, not enough,
he's gotten
honestly.
a lot of credit recently, but the guy has been a stalwart for this group. And then I think about the offensive line room, Andy Heck. He is the guy that makes that run game go. He's the guy that gets that offensive line ready to roll. They have a ton of guys. Matt Nagy's in the building. They have a ton of guys who could be head coaches in the National Football League, but they elect to be together as coaches on Andy Reid's staff. That's why they get this nod from
Eagles have a heck of a staff, though.
They do. They have a really good staff.
And offensive line coach. They have guys.
I'm not partial or anything.
Okay. To recap, defensive line, interior defensive line goes to the Eagles, edge rusher to the Eagles, linebacker to the Chiefs, cornerback to the Eagles, safety to the Chiefs, and the coaching staff to the Chiefs. We'll see how it plays out on Sunday.
We got a ball game.
Oh, yeah, we do.